how the goal 4 of the Sustainable Development Goals is on quality education. And how do you describe the interrelation between quality education and education for sustainable development? So is education for sustainable development standing also for quality education? Please, Dr. Adula, Dr. Leicht.
Yes, thank you very much. Indeed, quality education has been really a catchphrase over the last years, and maybe even 20 years even, at the international and at the national level when it comes to describing what we want in education. You may know that under the Millennium Development Goals and the associated Education for All goals, so that were basically the global framework for education work from 2000 to 2015, there was one goal on quality education. However, the way it was often interpreted was to make sure that students receive a good basic education that enables them basically to read and write well. So it was a relatively limited understanding of quality education. It was also often associated to training teachers well, so that they are able to make sure that the basic skills are there with students. However, what we now see in the global education discourse, really, with the adoption of the Sustainable Development Goals, and specifically Sustainable Development Goal 4 that you refer to, is a shift in the understanding of quality education. And I think the shift, without wanting to simplify too much, I think the shift can be described in the following way. We now concentrate much more on an education that is really relevant to the individual lives of the learners and also to the wider societal context. So we're really moving towards an emphasis on education that matters, really, a relevant education that matters for the individual and for the society. And very specifically, we see this enshrined in the Sustainable Development Goal 4 on education. And within that goal, in the target 4.7, you know, there are a number of targets under this goal and various means of implementation. And the so-called target 4.7 really specifically speaks about education for sustainable development, educating for sustainable lifestyles, making sure education contributes to the promotion of human rights, gender equality, the role of culture in development, global citizenship, etc. And this is really one of the, maybe really the first time that beyond a very specific education for sustainable development global framework, but in a wider global framework, education for sustainable development and associated issues have been very explicitly recognized, because they are seen as the education for sustainable development and associated agendas are really seen to be standing for an education that is relevant, for an education that matters for the individual life. So I think we have a very, very strong shift here in the understanding of quality education, and really, without wanting to overstate it, but I think we can really say that we're moving towards an alignment of the understanding of quality education and the understanding of education for sustainable development that we have been promoting throughout the decade and the Global Action program. I think another aspect of this of quality education today, and UNESCO has been very vocal about this. You know, we have been promoting a Sustainable Development Goal for quite some time now. We organized the big education summit in Incheon in Korea in May 2015 that looked at the wider education agenda after 2015, and another very important emphasis there was that quality education needs to be holistic, needs to encompass all areas of life and all areas of education, all types and areas of education, not only formal education but also non-formal education and informal education. And then also another important link is that quality education needs to be an education that is done in a, you could call it in a humanistic spirit, that is really done to the benefit of the development of the individual and of the wider society. I think that's why we can say at the moment relatively optimistically that we have a relatively strong alignment, or we are moving towards a really strong alignment between the understanding of quality education and the contents and the methodologies that Education for Sustainable Development have been promoting for a long time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Leicht, now you brought into very well actually what the understanding of quality education is, and I think also it linked very well to what Professor Aberlesch has introduced before.